Most people think nuts are always healthy. They look natural, simple, harmless. Something you can snack on without guilt, something often recommended in magazines or by doctors. But for older adults, especially anyone past 60, the truth is more complicated. Not every nut supports an aging body in the same way. And some nuts, while healthy on paper, become harder for older digestive systems, livers, and metabolisms to process. The changes happen subtly, quietly, and most people never connect their symptoms to something as small as a handful of nuts. Imagine an older adult walking into their kitchen every evening, reaching for a familiar jar of mixed nuts. The habit feels good. It feels responsible. Nuts are packed with good fats, fiber, minerals, so what could possibly go wrong? But the body after 60 is not the same body it was at 30 or 40. Digestion slows. Metabolism shifts. Tolerance for certain fats changes. Kidneys and livers process nutrients differently. The same foods that once energized can now leave some seniors feeling heavy, foggy, or bloated. Over time, many older adults begin noticing things they brush off as normal aging. More stiffness in the morning, more swelling after meals, more fatigue after snacks, or a strange heaviness in the stomach. Some attribute it to getting older, some to medications, some to stress. Almost no one suspects the nuts. And yet certain nuts require far more digestive and metabolic effort than others. While most younger adults burn through high-fat nuts quickly, older adults sometimes struggle with them in ways they don't realize. That's why this breakdown matters. It's not about fear. It's not about demonizing food. It's about understanding which nuts are supportive as the body ages, and which nuts may be too dense, too rich, or too concentrated for daily consumption. 4 nuts belong on the Go Easy list, and 4 belong on the Eat Daily list. The difference isn't about whether the nuts are good or bad. It's about whether they match the needs of an aging body. The first nut many older adults need to be cautious with is macadamia nuts. Smooth, buttery, irresistible macadamias are often associated with luxury snacks or high-end mixes. But what makes them taste so satisfying is also what makes them difficult after 60. They are extremely high in fat. Healthy fat, yes. Natural fat, yes. But a level of richness that can overwhelm digestion if eaten regularly. As people age, bile production often decreases. The gallbladder and liver don't break down concentrated fats as easily. Meals that once felt light can suddenly feel too heavy. And macadamias are among the most concentrated nuts available. A small handful can pack a heavier metabolic load than most people expect. For some seniors, this leads to sluggishness after eating. For others, it affects weight management or contributes to digestive strain. There is nothing inherently harmful or toxic about macadamia nuts. The issue is simply density. They deliver more richness than many older adults need in a snack. And when eaten daily, the body may quietly push back in ways you notice only after weeks or months. One older man experienced this without realizing it. A retired accountant, he enjoyed macadamias every night as a healthier alternative to sweets. It seemed like a smart choice. But he gradually noticed that his morning walks felt heavier. He had less energy after meals. His digestion felt slower than usual. Nothing dramatic, just a slow, creeping discomfort he assumed was part of aging. When he switched half of his nightly macadamias to lighter nuts like almonds and walnuts, he noticed a shift. His morning walks felt easier. His stomach felt calmer. He maintained his weight more naturally. Nothing mystical happened. His body simply didn't have to work as hard to process the fats he was eating. This is why macadamias belong on the caution list. They aren't dangerous and don't need to be eliminated completely. But for many older adults, they are best enjoyed occasionally rather than daily. A small amount goes a long way. Macadamias are only the beginning. The next nut on the caution list is one that many people eat specifically because they believe it is nutrient-rich. And while that's true, its extremely high mineral concentration can create problems for older adults whose bodies process nutrients differently than they once did. That nut is Brazil nuts, the second nut on the list of those to approach with care. Brazil nuts are often praised as nutrient powerhouses, and it's true that they contain minerals that the body needs. But with aging, the equation changes. Brazil nuts are incredibly dense in certain minerals, especially selenium. And although younger adults may tolerate that easily, older adults often process minerals differently. When nutrient absorption shifts and kidney efficiency naturally slows with age, foods that are extremely concentrated can create imbalances faster than most people realize. The challenge with Brazil nuts isn't that they're bad. It's that they are unusually potent. Just one or two can deliver far more of certain minerals than the body needs in a single serving. For older adults, whose mineral regulation becomes more sensitive, this can create discomfort over time. Some notice brittle hair or changes in nails. Others feel a sense of internal restlessness or difficulty focusing. These aren't dramatic symptoms, and many seniors simply assume they are part of aging. But sometimes the body is simply reacting to too much concentration of a nutrient it once processed easily. One woman learned this through experience. She had been eating a few Brazil nuts every day because she read they were good for the immune system. At first she felt fine, but after a few months she noticed her energy dipping, her hair thinning, and an odd metallic taste in her mouth. She thought it was stress or age catching up. When she reduced her intake and switched to a smaller, more balanced source of minerals, she gradually felt more like herself again. The solution wasn't extreme. It wasn't medical. It was simply finding a gentler fit for her body's current needs. This is why Brazil nuts appear on the caution list. They're not dangerous, but they are extremely concentrated, and after 60, moderation matters more than ever. Eating one occasionally is usually enough. Eating several daily may be more than an older body wants to handle. Next on the list is a nut that isn't actually a nut at all: peanuts. Many seniors grow up eating peanuts in snacks, peanut butter, trail mixes, or baked goods, assuming they belong in the nut category. But peanuts are legumes, not tree nuts, and they often behave differently in the digestive system. For older adults, the challenge with peanuts is not a single nutrient. It's the combination of how they are grown, stored, and digested, especially when digestion naturally slows with age. Peanuts tend to be more difficult for some seniors to break down. Their proteins are tougher and more complicated, and as stomach acid decreases with age, these proteins may linger longer in the stomach, creating bloating or heaviness. Some older adults also notice that peanuts leave them feeling puffy or stiff the next day, which they interpret as joint pain or inflammation. Again, nothing sudden or dramatic, just slow patterns that build over time. Another thing that makes peanuts tricky is the way they are commonly roasted, salted, or processed. Many peanut products contain added oils or sugars, and these additions can make digestion harder for some seniors. Dry roasted peanuts, salted peanuts, peanut butters with added ingredients, they're all common, but not all bodies respond well to them later in life. A retired banker once shared her story of feeling foggy and achy most mornings. She had eaten peanut butter toast for years, convinced it was a healthy breakfast. When she finally tried removing peanuts and peanut butter for a few weeks, her clarity improved, her energy stabilized, and she felt less bloated. She didn't need a complicated diet, just a simple change based on how her body was reacting now, not how it reacted 20 years earlier. This is the theme that repeats again and again with seniors. Foods that were perfectly fine before 60 sometimes begin to feel different. The body changes, and the diet must evolve with it. Peanuts also have a reputation for causing sensitivities later in life. Some older adults who never experienced digestive reactions in their youth suddenly find themselves feeling sluggish or swollen after eating peanut-based products. It's not a true allergy, but rather an age-related sensitivity that develops quietly over time. The solution is rarely elimination forever. It's about substitution and balance. Many seniors find that switching from peanuts to seeds, like sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds, gives them similar crunch, similar nutrients, but far easier digestion. Seed butters often feel gentler as well. Almond butter, tahini, and sunflower seed butter can replace peanut butter without the heaviness or next-day fog that some people experience. Now we move to the final nut on the caution list, and it's one most people believe is harmless, even comforting: cashews. Soft, smooth, creamy, used in desserts, sauces, snacks, and trail mixes. Cashews feel mild, but for older adults, they introduce a unique set of challenges. The first issue is how starchy cashews are. Compared to other nuts, cashews contain more carbohydrates. And for seniors who are sensitive to blood sugar changes, cashews may cause fluctuations that other nuts do not. They are also one of the heavier nuts for digestion, especially when eaten roasted or salted. But the biggest challenge isn't the nutrition label, it's how cashews feel in the body. Some older adults describe a bloated or sluggish feeling after eating even small amounts. Others find that cashews sit in the stomach longer, leaving them fuller than expected. And those with kidney sensitivity or low hydration sometimes notice discomfort after eating them regularly. simply because the body has to work harder to process them. One grandmother explained how she used to snack on cashews every afternoon, thinking they were a better choice than cookies. But over time, she felt increasing stiffness, digestive heaviness, and occasional rashes she couldn't explain. When she switched to walnuts and almonds, she felt lighter and more energized within a few weeks. Her experience wasn't extreme. It was simply her body telling her that cashews weren't a good match anymore. Cashews are not harmful for everyone, but many seniors find that other nuts feel easier, lighter, and more supportive. With all four Go Easy nuts now covered, macadamias, Brazil nuts, peanuts, and cashews, it's time to shift the focus. Because just as some nuts are harder for the aging body, others are incredibly supportive. These next four nuts can become daily staples, offering smoother digestion, better energy, and nutrients that match the needs of older adults beautifully. The first of these supportive nuts is pecans, a surprisingly gentle and powerful choice for seniors ready to enhance their health naturally. Pecans may not be the first nut people think of when they consider healthy choices, but for older adults, they offer something rare: strength without heaviness, richness without strain, and nutrients that support the body without overwhelming it. Their natural oils are gentle, their texture is soft, and many seniors find pecans far easier to digest than the heavier nuts on the caution list. What makes pecans special is the balance they offer. They contain healthy fats that feel lighter on the stomach than the dense richness of macadamias. They provide natural antioxidants that support overall wellness without delivering minerals in overwhelming amounts. And because pecans are softer, they tend to be gentler on teeth and easier to chew, something many older adults quietly appreciate but rarely talk about. Pecans also pair well with the rhythms of an aging body. Many seniors experience afternoon energy dips or unpredictable hunger cycles. Pecans slide neatly into those moments, offering a calming steadiness rather than a spike. Not too much fat, not too much starch, not too hard to digest. They occupy the middle ground where comfort meets nourishment. One older man discovered this by accident. He used to snack on processed crackers when he felt tired in the afternoon, which left him feeling even more drained. When he switched to a small handful of pecans each day, he noticed something surprising. The sluggishness he had grown used to simply faded. He felt more stable through the day, more mentally sharp, and more satisfied after snacking. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't a cure. It was simply matching his body to a food that supported him instead of weighing him down. This is why pecans earn a place on the Eat Daily list for many older adults. They offer steadiness at a stage of life when the body benefits most from consistent, gentle nourishment. From pecans, the list moves to a nut that surprises many people with how supportive it can be: pistachios. To younger adults, pistachios are often just a snack food. But for seniors, they can be a meaningful part of daily nourishment. What makes pistachios especially valuable is their unique combination of fiber, protein, and natural plant compounds that many older adults benefit from. They are one of the few nuts that provide a noticeable feeling of satisfaction without heaviness. Their texture is firm but not dense. Their flavor is strong enough to feel satisfying even in small portions. And because many pistachios come in shells, the slow pacing of shelling them encourages mindful eating, something surprisingly helpful for seniors who struggle with portion control or emotional snacking. Older adults also appreciate how pistachios behave in the body. They don't sit heavily in the stomach. They don't create the same richness that macadamias or cashews do. Instead, they give a light, balanced burst of energy that helps support both clarity and movement. One woman in her 70s shared how pistachios transformed her snacking habits. She used to reach for pretzels or chips in the late afternoon, causing her energy to crash later in the evening. But after switching to pistachios, she found her mood steadier and her digestion calmer. She even joked that shelling pistachios gave her a small mission during the day, something to do slowly and intentionally. That tiny ritual helped reduce mindless eating and gave her body a snack it could actually put to use. This combination of balance, fiber, and gentleness is why pistachios stand high on the list of supportive nuts for seniors. From pistachios, the journey continues to almonds, one of the most classic nuts, and yet one of the most beneficial for older adults when used correctly. Almonds offer a spectrum of nutrients that align closely with the needs of an aging body: gentle protein, healthy fats, and minerals that support muscles, nerves, and overall comfort. But what makes almonds especially meaningful for seniors is their versatility. They can be soaked overnight to soften them, turning them into a gentle, chewable snack for those who struggle with harder foods. They can be blended into smoothies, used in oatmeal, sliced into salads, or eaten whole for a satisfying crunch. Their mild flavor makes them easy to incorporate into almost any daily routine. Many older adults find that almonds help stabilize their day in small but noticeable ways. Some feel more grounded after eating them. Others sleep better when they include almonds earlier in the evening, due to their natural combination of nutrients. Some notice fewer nighttime leg cramps when they make almonds part of their regular diet. The effects are subtle but steady, the kind of support that builds softly over weeks and months. One older man experienced this firsthand. He had struggled with restless evenings and inconsistent energy during the day. When he added a small portion of soaked almonds to his morning and evening routine, his energy felt more predictable and his nights became noticeably calmer. He didn't change his lifestyle dramatically. He simply gave his body a nutrient pattern it responded to well. And now we arrive at the final nut on the Eat Daily list, the one that stands above the rest for older adults: walnuts. Walnuts offer something no other nut provides in the same combination: natural compounds that support the brain, nutrients that support the heart, and a texture that feels grounding without being too heavy. Their shape even resembles the human brain, and while that's a coincidence, many seniors appreciate the symbolism. For older adults, walnuts often feel like the right balance between nourishment and comfort. They're rich but not overwhelming. They contain natural plant-based fats that the body often responds to with improved clarity, improved steadiness, and a sense of internal balance. One older woman discovered a profound shift after incorporating walnuts into her afternoon routine. She had always felt mentally slowed in the late afternoon, losing focus and momentum. When she replaced her usual cookies with a handful of walnuts, the fog lifted, her mood steadied. Her evenings felt calmer and clearer. She didn't experience dramatic changes overnight, just tiny improvements that built into something meaningful over time. This is the essence of walnuts for seniors: gentle, natural support for both body and mind. With all 4 supportive nuts introduced, pecans, pistachios, almonds, and walnuts, the picture becomes clear. As the body ages, it benefits from foods that are easy to digest, consistent in nourishment, and balanced in their natural profile. These nuts align beautifully with those needs. Now the final section ties everything together with the closing message that helps seniors understand how to apply these choices in daily life. Choosing the right nuts after 60 isn't about restriction. It's about alignment. It's about choosing foods that work with your body rather than against it. The difference between the caution nuts and the daily nuts isn't a matter of good versus bad. It's a matter of how easily an aging body processes richness, minerals, fats, and natural plant compounds. The 4 nuts on the supportive list: pecans, pistachios, almonds, and walnuts offer something older adults often need: steady energy, comfort in digestion, and nutrients that don't overwhelm the system. They're gentle enough to enjoy every day without feeling weighed down, yet nourishing enough to contribute meaningfully to strength, clarity, and overall well-being. Many older adults who switch from the caution nuts to the supportive nuts notice changes that aren't too dramatic, but are deeply meaningful. Morning stiffness softens. Afternoon fatigue becomes less pronounced. Digestion feels smoother. Snacking feels satisfying instead of draining. Mental clarity becomes steadier. These improvements don't usually hit all at once. They build slowly, in the background, like a tide rising quietly each day. The deeper reason the supportive nuts work so well is because of how natural and accessible they are. They don't require large portions. They don't require complicated recipes. They don't require drastic changes to your lifestyle. A small handful, eaten mindfully, enjoyed slowly, becomes a daily act of nourishment that fits effortlessly into the rhythm of aging well. But these nuts do more than fuel the body. They create rituals. An older adult cracking pistachios in their favorite chair as the afternoon sun filters in. Someone sprinkling almonds onto warm oatmeal in the morning. A couple sharing walnuts during a quiet evening walk. These small habits take on emotional meaning. They anchor the day. They give the mind and body a predictable, supportive routine. The opposite is also true. The nuts on the caution list, cashews, macadamias, peanuts, and Brazil nuts, may still have a place in your life. You don't have to ban them forever. But once you understand how your body has changed, you might choose to enjoy them differently. Smaller amounts, less often, saving them for treats rather than daily habits, or replacing them with lighter options that don't weigh you down. When seniors begin making these small adjustments, something remarkable happens. They start to understand their bodies in real time. They begin noticing which foods energize and which ones drain. They learn to listen again, not to rules, not to fads, but to the quiet signals their body has been sending for years. Signals that often go ignored until the right moment arrives. One woman in her late 70s described the change perfectly. She said she felt as if her body had been whispering to her for years, "Please choose something lighter." When she finally made the shift to supportive nuts each day, she described it like flipping a light switch, not a bright, dramatic flash. More like the gentle glow of a lamp in a quiet room. Warm, comfortable, steady. This is what aging with awareness looks like. It isn't about chasing youth or trying to rewind the clock. It's about giving the body what it responds to best right now. Nourishing foods, gentle motions, predictable rhythms. Subtle adjustments that add up to significant differences. Walnuts in particular become a powerful daily ritual for many older adults. Their grounding flavor and natural richness help stabilize appetite. Their gentle fats feel calming rather than overwhelming. And their versatility allows them to be enjoyed in countless ways, sprinkled on salads, mixed into yogurt, eaten plain during a walk, or paired with fruit in the afternoon. Walnuts rarely feel too heavy or too light. They find the middle ground where nourishment meets comfort. Almonds offer an entirely different texture and sensation. Crisp, clean, and versatile, they fit into mornings or evenings, sweet recipes or savory meals. Soaked almonds become soft and soothing. Raw almonds offer a satisfying crunch. Their ability to slide into almost any dish makes them one of the easiest nuts to integrate daily. Pecans bring their own charm. Their deep, warm flavor creates a natural comfort that many older adults feel drawn to. Pecans pair beautifully with herbal teas, warm breakfasts, or gentle snacks. Their softness makes them friendly for older teeth, and their balanced fat profile gives a sense of grounded energy that lasts. And pistachios carry something unique, the ritual of shelling them. That tiny moment of cracking a shell and rewarding yourself with a single nut creates mindfulness without effort. It slows eating naturally. It turns snacking into a calm, intentional practice instead of a rushed one. Many seniors find that this brings emotional ease, especially during long afternoons or quiet evenings. The beauty of these shifts is that they don't require giving up the foods you love. They only require the understanding that your body's needs evolve, and that you have the power to meet those needs with simple, thoughtful choices. Changing nuts doesn't change your entire diet, it changes your rhythm. It changes how your body feels at the start and end of each day. And for many seniors, these small daily choices become the foundation of a more comfortable, more energized, and more confident life. In the end, the message is simple. Remove or reduce the nuts that weigh you down. Embrace the ones that lift you up. Allow your body to guide you, not through dramatic signals, but through subtle improvements. Gentler mornings, smoother digestion, clearer thinking, steadier energy, calmer evenings. You don't need to overhaul your life to feel better. Sometimes the smallest changes make the biggest difference.